Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 102nd Annual Meeting of the American Meteorological Society. My name is David Paul. I'm the Chief Meteorologist here at KHLU 11 in Houston, Texas, and a proud member of the AMS since 1996. It is my pleasure to help welcome all of you from across the globe to my hometown of Houston and to this year's award ceremony. Of course, we would have loved to be doing all of this, meeting and making connections with each other in person. I wanted to show you how great the weather is here in January, our incredible restaurant scene, world-class museum and arts district, or just a simple walk in Discovery Green Park right across from the convention center. But alas, it is not meant to be. However, Houston is a city that inspires. This year's theme of environmental security is one that inspires, and we know, regardless of the space between us, this year's virtual meeting will be one that inspires current members and helps cultivate the next generation of scientists and leaders through the American Meteorological Society. Now, Houston also has some great little places to go sing karaoke late at night, so next time, hopefully, we can do this live and make it a real party. But until then, welcome to virtual Houston and this year's award ceremony.
There I am. I want to welcome everybody back. What a fantastic way to kick off with our presidential forum with a really world-class group of speakers. I want to thank Dr. Roger Pawardi, who helped set that up and assembled that panel. Couldn't have done that without him. It was just an incredible panel, and I want to thank him very much for helping us start off the conference right. So with that, we're going to transition now into the annual review. And this is the formal business meeting, really brief, and then we're going to go on to the award ceremony. We have confirmed with those online and in the room that we do have a quorum as required by our Constitution. Of more than 50 voting members, so we can continue with this formal business meeting for the year. Those of you that are joining us here that online, particularly that did not see the presidential forum, we will remind you that this year's theme of the 102nd annual meeting is the environment. It is environmental security. It's weather, water, and climate for a more secure world. And the environmental security being defined as the national security and human security impacts of weather, water, and climate extremes. As I mentioned before, we had a world-class panel kick us off and provide great perspective. If you missed that at home, as soon as it's posted, I strongly encourage you to watch it. It was an incredible hour of incredible speakers. At this point, I want to talk about some of the key people that are making this annual meeting a reality. And note that even in the pandemic and with a shift, frankly, at the last month from hybrid to almost all virtual, we still have over 4,000 registered attendees representing 47 countries. It will be featuring this year over 2,400 oral presentations, about 900 posters, and over 50 exhibitors. So even though we were not able to all come together here in person, this is still going to be a very robust and impactful annual meeting. I also want to thank everybody individually as groups who made this annual meeting happen. I want special thanks to go out to help make it possible, especially in the light of all the challenges we just faced. It's really not possible to thank the literally hundreds of people that made this work. But I will mention a few key groups and I'll get into some names later. And starting with our corporate patron, Lockheed Martin, as well as our generous sponsors for the annual meeting. In terms of those individuals that really made a big difference, the AMS staff, like world-class staff professionals, and led for this annual meeting team by Jen Ives. The overall planning all right. I was going to say wait to hold your applause at the end, but we got to give it up for the AMS staff. So thank you for. The next one is our overall planning committee. This is the group that helped organize this starting nearly 2 years ago. It helped us assemble all of the theme with all the special sessions and helped put together and orchestrate putting together over 40 workshops and symposia and conferences. This overall planning committee was led by Gina Esco from NOAA and Dr. John Lanici, professor at the University of South Alabama. So thank you, Gina and John, as well. Finally, these categories are the ones that really is, we'd be here for the next 30 minutes reading names, and it's just incredible. I hope to thank as many of you individually as I can. But for the program committee, organizing all the conferences, all of their conference chairs, the session leaders for each of those conferences. And then finally, for those of you that are here, we had several students that are helping us actually run the day-to-day part of the meeting. And finally, a special shout out to the student conference planning committee. And this group led by Tyler and Nick and Margaret, with several people supporting them, helped put the student conference together and really made this a reality. They had to kind of make a lot of audible calls here at the end of the fourth quarter to pull this off. So I want to thank all of them as well. All right, with that, we're going to transition a little bit for some informational. So can I have the slide, please, of our new elected leaders? So through a vote of the entire membership, we have elected a new president-elect, Brad Coleman. And Brad is here. Welcome, Brad, when you see him. Also, we have new counselors, Kristen Avert, Monica Bell, Candace Boyd, Bernadette Woods-Plackey, and Rachel Hauser. So these counselors are your representatives and are make up the governing body, the board of directors of the AMS that run the society and on your behalf. So I'd like to welcome all the counselors and our new president-elect. Well, just as we welcome the new, we want to thank those that are outgoing. And so one of the things that you may not realize is that when you're elected to the council, you're there for 3 years. When you're elected president, it's not just 1 year, it's a 4-year commitment on the council. And so for those that are outgoing, past President Jenny Evans, councilors Christy Ebi, Erica Grove, Wayne Higgins, Kim Klicko-McLean, and Jim Steenberg. Also commissioners, Doug Hildebrand, Maureen McCann, and Yvette Richardson. These are the senior leaders that make the AMS work. So I want to thank all of you for your dedicated service during your time on the council and commission. And two names that are not on here, but I do want to talk about them just briefly. I also want to especially thank the presidents that transitioned with me. When I came in as president-elect, Mary Glacken served as a friend and mentor and really helped guide me through, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And the same can be said with Rich Clark, who's coming in behind me as your new president. It's been a true pleasure working with you. With that, this is the time where I get to talk about the year I had as president. So 2021, not much happened. The year started off with I thought it was a great idea the year I was going to be president to start a new job. That doesn't sound like a great idea, but it happened. So I started the year really with a very challenging job coming back to the National Weather Service in the middle of a pandemic. That's the way my year started. And year ended, I went to Boulder to visit family and go skiing. The day after I arrived, I was in emergency surgery for a detached retina. And while I was laying there healing, all the Boulder fires came in. So 2021 went out with a bang, but in between those interesting start and finish, there was a lot really wonderful that happened in 2021 with the AMS. First, AMS has really thrived during the pandemic. It's been a lot of work by a lot of you, both here in the room and those that are watching online. It's been a lot of effort to keep things going and growing and thriving with the challenges of a pandemic. This annual meeting and the amount of people registered is just one of many examples to show that way it worked. That couldn't have happened alone. While there are over 12,000 members and We value each and every one of them. The reality is that really the nuts and bolts of making the AMS work are by 1,000 or 2,000 really engaged members who are volunteers that serve on our boards, our commissions, our committees, as editors and reviewers of our journals. And of course, as I mentioned before, the complete AMS staff, which is among the best that you'll ever see from any professional society. We've also had something really cool. We launched our first new journal in a few years, our newest AMS journal on machine learning and artificial intelligence for the environment is already off to a great start, and is going to help the AMS lead the growth of artificial intelligence and its applications to environmental science. I think that I've seen the growth of these environmental security special sessions. I hope that all of you can tune into as many of them as possible. I know it's always a challenge at the annual meeting when you have up to 20 or 30 concurrent things. Fortunately, we do have these recorded, so if you miss one, please watch them. It's really going to be building upon the wonderful things you heard tonight at the Presidential Forum. And I mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. The student conference just blew me away. It's had such a fantastic time engaging with new emerging leaders of the AMS and our society, as well as the weather, water, and climate enterprise at large. You all worked very hard to pull this off, and I'm so glad you were able to come in person. I will admit, along with a lot of our planning committee and the staff that put their heart and soul into making the annual meeting, it was kind of like a family member died the day we had to really make the decision to go mostly virtual. But what gave us second wind, in addition to, of course, making this the best virtual meeting we could possibly do, was knowing we could come and spend time with you at the student conference. So I'm incredibly thrilled to be here. So it's really been my distinct honor to serve as your president in 2021 and to thank everyone for your hard work and dedication to the AMS and to the weather enterprise. With that, I would like to move on to a few special acknowledgements. So the next slide So we have a new AMS executive director. This was also one of the things that happened during 2021. Our outgoing director, Keith Sider, announced his pending retirement. And so several of the senior members we appointed a special search committee, made a national search, spent quite a lot of time doing that, having interviews. And in the end, we're thrilled to have Dr. Stella Kafla join us as our new executive director. Her first day of work was right after the new year, and she's already hitting the ground running. So I'd like to welcome Stella and have her stand and wave so you can track her down later and tell her what you think about the AMS. In that previous mention of as good things end, other things begin. Next slide, please. Keith, you really didn't expect this, but I can't possibly go without telling you how much you mean to me and the AMS. He has been with the AMS for several decades as a staff member, and the last 17 as our executive director. He has really made a huge difference to our society. He has been the person you could go to when things needed to be done, always with a smile, always with professionalism. You felt like you were the most important person in the world when you talked to him, and he only had 12,000 members to deal with. He's led us through good times and bad, tough times and easier times, and we're thrilled that he has agreed to stay on for a transition period with Stella, as well as stay engaged as Executive Director Emeritus. And we are just grateful and honored to have served with you these many years, Keith. We wish you all the best in your next challenges, and we look forward to working with you as a AFS member for life. Thank you, Keith. And finally, next slide, please. One of the luminaries in our field, an icon truly, Bill Hook is also retiring as our Senior Policy Fellow, previously the Director of the Policy Program. He's inspired and impacted so many people through many decades of service with the early career professional symposium during the summer, the policy colloquium. Dozens, if not hundreds of people have been impacted by this man over the years. Some of the people that have gone through that program have become leaders, national leaders, international leaders in our discipline. He's a wise sage, delivers wisdom with us, and is really one of the most thoughtful people I ever worked with. So with that, we all are happy to announce that the Society has established the William Hook Fellowship that will support early career members to attend the AMS Summer Policy Colloquium, the one that he helped found. This fellowship is being funded by member donations, and we really hope to have it fully endowed at some point in the coming year or the near future. I'm really sorry we're not all in person to really show our appreciation for all that he has done for our broader community, as well as Keith. So with that, I'd like to recognize Bill Hook and thank him for all of his service. All right, at this point, I did mention a lot of counselors and commissioners. So the AMS, in terms of all the committees, they are organized under 5 main commissions. We're going to hear tonight, as part of the business meeting, a really brief summary of what happens during the last year. For those of you in the audience, particularly since it's primarily students, please pay close attention, because the kind of activities that they're going to talk about are areas that you are going to be able to become involved with the committees and boards that fall underneath them. We're always looking for a breadth from students and early career professionals all the way up to graying people like myself and everybody in between to really form a diverse panel within all these committees and boards. So hopefully all of you, if you see something that interests you, please reach out to these commissioners and their committees. So with that, we're going to play some of these and over the last year. So I'm going to invite you to watch these videos now.
Commissioner Christy Franz. I'll keep this relatively short. You can see the full report in the council packet. We do not have any current action items, so we do have a few things that may be coming up down the road. STAC has been busy. We, of course, represent the largest number of volunteers among the commissions in AMS. Over the last year, we've had a number of our committees and boards. We have 36 total that have been involved in a variety of activities, including, of course, programming the annual meeting. And I think we should give a big thanks to all the program chairs and AMS staff who have worked tirelessly in planning, and particularly in the last few weeks, converting this meeting to a fully virtual format. I miss seeing all of you in Houston, of course, but I'm glad we can at least still hold a meeting. As you can see in the packet, there's a whole bunch of specialty meetings planned for 2022 after the annual. Almost all of them are being planned for in person, so I hope we can be able to do that. The other big activity we did recently was designate 13 STAC board and committee awards, as we have done in the last several years. These awards, most of them, all but 2, are being presented virtually at AMS Annual in one form or another. 2 others will come up in a special meeting down the road. Beyond that, you can also see in the meetings that we had 3 named sessions in 2022 that STAC had reviewed. And there is also a named session in the mountain meteorology meeting coming up. There are also 2 named symposia that were postponed from 2021 to 2022 for Kevin Trenberg and Richard Johnson. And there were 2 that were selected for 2023 for Roger Filkey Sr. and Bill Hook. And then there'll be a discussion for the 2024 ones. Beyond that, the staff committee chairs, board and committee chairs have been meeting through webinars. We have our annual meeting on Zoom in a couple of weeks on February 4th, and we hope to have a few special guests there specifically talk about drafting and revising statements, something that staff committees are often involved in. Beyond that, we've been involved with the glossary of meteorology with 29 terms. And also with a variety of AMS annual awards in terms of their review and nomination. You can also see in our packet of our 438 members a demographic breakdown. We have some good information from Beth Farley at AMS on gender. We can see we're up to 41% women. We're hoping to get more data on ethnicity and race down the road to help us better understand how we're meeting our diversity goals as well. So I think I'll leave it at that, and thanks a lot.
Welcome to the Education and Engagement Commission update. My name is Kevin Gobert, and I currently serve as the commissioner, and I'm here to offer some highlights of our commission's activities over the past year. This was the first year of the new commission structure, combining old elements of the Education and Human Resource Commission with some committees that reported to the AMS Executive Committee and a couple of new boards and committees that emanated from the AMS Centennial Initiatives. Specifically, the work of the Board on Representation, Accessibility, Inclusion, and Diversity, or BRAID, has grown its membership as it continues to expand its reach and support of AMS members. They continue their excellent work of cultivating a welcoming and inclusive organization for all of our members. The Board on Higher Education has initiated a review of the AMS Bachelor's Degree Statement and is working on a new best practice document to inform students and educators about the educational needs of the private sector. The Board on Outreach and Informal Education has revamped their outreach efforts around the annual meeting and are conducting a wide array of virtual events. The hope is to expand these types of events and empower AMS members to make an impact in their regions by doing outreach activities within the communities they reside. The Board on Membership has been reviewing the benefits of membership and working to understand how we can evolve our offerings to ensure that AMS remains relevant for all who join and work within the atmospheric and related sciences. In addition, a new subcommittee was formed to help guide the AMS Weather Band, the new AMS Weather Enthusiast offering. If you know of someone who loves the weather, tell them about the AMS Weather Band and encourage them to join. The Early Career Leadership Academy was able to hold their 2020 event virtually in March to great success. This program is aimed at cultivating early career members from diverse backgrounds into future leaders within AMS and the greater weather, water, and climate enterprise. Applications are now open for the 2022 cohort, so apply now if you're interested. So much great work has happened over the course of the past year from all of our boards and committees. The whole commission looks forward to working with all AMS members to help advance the work of our society in the year to come. Thank you.
Maureen McCann here from Spectrum News 13 in Orlando, Florida, with some updates on the Commission on Professional Affairs. Within this commission, we have 9 boards and committees that are dedicated to professional growth and development, and that includes the certification programs. We have 90 volunteers, or over 90 volunteers, that help keep these boards and committees going. As for those certifications, 38 new CBMs, that's the broadcast meteorologist seal. We have 15 new certified consulting meteorologists, and then our newest designation, certified AMS teacher. That's a conjunction with the EEC Commission. We awarded 24 of those this year. Now, as for a cross-commission initiative, we continue to work on ECLA. You know, we love our acronyms. ECLA stands for Early Career Leadership Academy. It was virtual in 2021, but we're accepting applications for the class of 2022. So look for that on the AMS website. Another thing, we continue to support Mentoring 365, always looking for mentors and mentees to apply for that. So this marks the end of my term as AMS Commissioner on Professional Affairs. So I want to send it over to Mike Augustinak, who's the incoming commissioner, and he has some news on what's to come with the commission going forward in 2022.
Thanks, Maureen, and thank you for your leadership over the past 6 years. I'm really excited to continue the Commission's work of supporting and recognizing our members as they grow throughout their careers and ensuring that AMS certifications are accessible to all while remaining the gold standard. There are two key initiatives to help make that happen. The first revolves around existing certifications. You know, today, 13% of the US population are native Spanish speakers, and by 2050, estimates are that 1 in 3 Americans will speak Spanish. We need to meet our members and the public where they're at. So the Broadcast Board, CBM Exam Review Committee, and CHALA, with support from Kelly Savoy and AMS staff, have already begun the work required to evaluate and test CBM applicants wholly in Spanish. It's going to take a lot of work and some time to reach the finish line on that project, but once we do, we'll work to make the CCM and CAT bilingual as well. The second initiative actually allows you to submit ideas for new certifications through CPROF to the AMS Council. Since launching earlier this year, we've already received packets in support of 2 new certifications. Learn what's required to propose a new certification in the professional development section of the AMS website. If you'd like to connect or collaborate, you can find me in the AMS community, on Twitter, or email me, ma@mikeaugustinak.com.
Greetings, I'm Yvette Richardson, the current AMS Planning Commissioner. The Planning Commission's mission is twofold. We do long-term strategic thinking for the society, and we work on specific shorter-term topics through task forces that we create. In terms of long-term strategic planning, the Planning Commission this year updated a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, or SWOT analysis for the society, and we will be compiling the high-level items in each category as input for the Council. The Planning Commission also gathered information on activities across the entire society to see how all of the committees, commissions, and boards are contributing to the society's strategic goals. We will now look for both accomplishments and any gaps in implementation to inform our planning. The Task Force on Leadership Development, chaired by Chris Bagaski, conducted extensive interviews to better understand how AMS cultivates leaders within the society. Their report to Council included several key findings and recommendations designed to make those in AMS leadership positions more accessible, make leadership and volunteering opportunities more visible, increase the engagement of early career members across the society, including at the highest levels, and integrate Early Career Leadership Academy or ECLA graduates into AMS governance. A Future of Meetings task force is now being formed. Meetings play an essential role in the AMS. With virtual and hybrid formats recently becoming a potentially viable alternative to being fully in person, the society needs to consider the nature of meetings going forward. This year, we added an incoming commissioner for 1 year, Susan Jasko, and she will take over as the current commissioner at the end of this meeting. I know she will do a great job. We are excited to bring on Kim Klockow as the new incoming commissioner. Susan and Kim will each serve 2 years in these roles, while I transition to past commissioner after 5 years as the planning commissioner. It has been a true honor, and I thank the society for this opportunity to serve. I hope you all enjoy the annual meeting.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Broccoli, and I'm the AMS Publications Commissioner. I'm here with an update on the activities of the Commission during the past year. AMS journals received approximately 3,130 submissions in 2021, a reduction of about 12% from the previous year. The impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on the professional and personal lives of authors are a likely contributor to this reduction in submissions. Fortunately, there has been no adverse impact on the time to publication for papers submitted to our journals, which is a testament to the dedication of reviewers, editors, and AMS staff. AMS is pleased to offer authors and readers a new journal that began accepting submissions late in 2021. Artificial Intelligence for the Earth Systems publishes research on the development and application of methods in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and statistics that are relevant to meteorology, atmospheric science, hydrology, climate science, and ocean sciences. Professor Amy McGovern of the University of Oklahoma is the founding chief editor of this new journal. We offer a hearty farewell to 2 chief editors who have completed long tenures with AMS journals: Tim Del Sol at the Journal of Climate and Rizal Mahmoud of Earth Interactions. Thank you for your exemplary service. Tim and Rizal will be succeeded in their positions by Darren Waugh of Johns Hopkins, who has joined Ming-Fang Ting as co-chief editor of the Journal of Climate, and Sonali McDermott of NYU, who has taken the reins at Earth Interactions. I'll close by thanking everyone involved in AMS Publications for their efforts during the past year, including the professional staff at AMS and the volunteer reviewers, editors, chief editors, and at-large Publications Commission members who devote their time for the benefit of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our commissioners for all your excellent work, and as well as not just yourselves, but of course the boards and committees that report within your commission. As I mentioned before, they really represent literally hundreds of dedicated volunteers just like you who make the AMS work for the society and for you as individuals. At this point, it's the part of the business meeting. We can go pretty brief. This is the Secretary Treasurer report. I'd like to note that the business covered in this session, the list of the meetings we've sponsored during the past year, the summaries of our budgets for both 20 and 21 are included in the preliminary Secretary Treasurer's annual report. They'll be available on the AMS website very soon. And then the final Secretary's report will appear in our Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society, or BAMS, later in the year. And with that, there is a somber thing we do every year. And like we have a big society with 12,000, so we always lose some of our most valued members every year. With that, I'd like to put the list on the screen, please. This represents most of those are predominant members that passed away during the year 2021. I will note that Lisa Goddard was a luminary in the climate field, actually just passed away a week or so ago. We added her in there because even though it's just a 2021 list, we'll hear more about her and her legacy from Roger Priority at a session later this week. I'd like you to take a moment of silence and read through the list with me and remember those who have passed. Thank you. Well, with that solemn moment, we're going to transition to something very inspirational. This is really one of the best parts of the meeting, and that is seeing the professionals and the award winners recognized from across all of our society and this year's award winners. In the years past, we have the presidents getting up here reading, and if you saw our commission reports, you could tell which ones were broadcasters and which ones weren't. And so it occurred to us, why not take advantage of this incredible resource as a pillar of our community? So it's my pleasure to, on screen, to be able to introduce the chief meteorologist of ABC News, Ginger Zee, and last year's award winner for the award for broadcast meteorology. And she is going to officiate the ceremony. So with that, let's please go to the screen.
I'm the Commissioner of the Science, Technical, and
Sorry, Anchor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ginger Zee, live from my basement. Well, I just came off live TV at Rockaway Beach covering a storm, so I've got like storm hair, but this, hey, what better than a meteorologist who has just been in a storm than to present so many of these awards to you. So I'm so grateful to be here, and we want to begin with the fellows for 2022. The AMS Constitution states that, quote, those eligible for election to fellow shall have made outstanding contributions to the atmospheric or related oceanic and hydrologic sciences or their applications during a substantial period of years, end quote. So this year's class of fellows embody this sense of contribution to the community. The 2022 new fellows are Dennis D. Baldacci, Mi-Ann Chin, Jennifer M. Collins, Paul Douglas, Andreas H. Fink, Robert G. Goldhammer, Stephen W. Harnett, Andy Himsfield, Gerald M. Heimsfeld, Faisal Hossein, Everett Joseph, Troy M. Kimmel Jr., Valiappa Lakshmanan, Xin Chong Liang, Julie K. Lundquist, Gudrun Magnus Daughter, Sarah C. Pryor, Liz Ritchie, Hui Su, Guilin Wang, Chin Su, Sapita Yalda. And turning next to our 2022 lectureships, the Walter or Roberts Lecturer is Allison L. Steiner. Allison, this is for your outstanding research in biosphere-atmosphere interactions and their influence on atmospheric chemistry, weather, and climate. The Robert E. Horton Lecturer in Hydrology is Francina Dominguez. And this is for Francina's outstanding contributions to terrestrial hydrometeorology and expanding the understanding of land-atmosphere interactions, significantly closing the gap between the atmospheric and hydrologic sciences. And the Bernard Harwitz Memorial Lecturer is Isla R. Simpson for novel approaches in advancing fundamental knowledge of the dynamics of stratosphere-troposphere coupling and the response of atmospheric circulation and variability to climate forcing. And now to our 2022 awardees. The Local Student Chapter of the Year Award is presented to the Northern Vermont University Linden Student Chapter for finding new and creative ways to provide community service, professional development, and social opportunities for its members. We now come to an award that is given to those involved in operational forecasting, the Charles L. Mitchell Award. It is presented to Daniel G. Kotlowski for exceptional forecast services provided to stakeholders for more than 40 years, as exemplified through his unwavering support of the broadcast sector and training of meteorologists. The AMS Editors Awards are presented to individuals who have performed exemplary reviews of manuscripts submitted to the AMS journals. It is a wonderful opportunity to recognize some of the best reviewers for work that is typically done anonymously, but that is critical to the quality and success of AMS peer-reviewed publications. So we have a number of these editor awards to recognize today. Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society, Robert J. Trapp, for numerous thorough and insightful reviews that resulted in substantially improved manuscripts. Journal of Applied Meteorology and Climatology, Ski Young Zong, for providing multiple timely, thorough reviews and thoughtful advice as an associate editor. Journal of Atmospheric and Oceanic Technology, Bruce Ingleby, for timely and excellent reviews provided over the years. Journal of Climate, Antonietta Captandi, for numerous high quality and thorough reviews. Journal of Climate, Russell Blackport, for consistently delivering detailed, informative, and timely reviews. Journal of Climate, Kazuaki Nishie, for particularly insightful and careful reviews. Journal of Hydrometeorology, Lawrence Mudrick, for thorough and constructive reviews of highly technical manuscripts. Journal of Hydrometeorology, Romina Rusica, for thorough and insightful reviewing of multiple Journal of Hydrometeorology manuscripts. Journal of Physical Oceanography, Leah Johnson, for several very perceptive and helpful reviews in a variety of subdisciplines. Journal of the Atmospheric Sciences, Manuela Leonard, for providing constructive and thorough reviews and improved the organization, clarity, and content of manuscripts. Journal of the Atmospheric Sciences, Maria Gaina, for multiple, concise, thoughtful, and thorough reviews. Monthly Weather Review, Andrew C. Winters, for consistently providing constructive, insightful, and timely reviews for a large number of manuscripts. Weather and Forecasting. I love that I read some of these, so fun. Michael J. Brennan, for providing numerous superb reviews over many years in areas relating to tropical meteorology and operational prediction. Weather and Forecasting, Monthly Weather Review, Journal of Applied Meteorology and Climatology. John T. Allen, for contributing an exceptional number of excellent reviews spanning a broad range of scientific areas and across several AMS journals. Weather and Forecasting, Monthly Weather Review, Journal of Applied Meteorology and Climatology. Ryan Lagerquist, for contributing numerous rigorous and constructive reviews in the areas of machine learning and artificial intelligence across 3 journals. Weather, Climate, and Society. Castle Williams, for thoughtful and thorough reviews always delivered from an encouraging and positive perspective. Weather, Climate, and Society. Ashlyn K. Quinn, for helping the authors write an outstanding paper by providing a review that identified the salient issues. The Society is also presenting 4 awards specifically aimed at outstanding early career professionals. The award for Early Career Professional Achievement is presented to Joseph E. Trujillo Falcon for innovative and extensive collaboration in risk communication for Spanish-speaking communities and leadership as an exceptional student member across multiple AMS boards and committees. The Nicholas P. Fofanoff Award is presented to Andrew L. Stewart for his pioneering research discoveries regarding the dynamics of oceanic currents, eddies, and sea ice in polar regions. The Henry G. Houghton Award is presented to Mark D. Zelinka for innovative advances in understanding the critical involvement of clouds to achieve a better understanding of climate interactions. The Clarence Leroy Meisinger Award is presented to Isla R. Simpson. Congrats again, this time for advancing scientific understanding through studies of the fundamental mechanics that govern tropospheric and stratospheric circulation influences on surface climate variability and change. A wonderful aspect of our science that I am always honored to be a part of is the connection to everyone, everywhere through media. We have 2 broadcast awardees to recognize today. The award for excellence in science reporting by a broadcast meteorologist is presented to Anthony Yanez for combining journalism, science, and advanced technology to explain and gain interest in weather and ocean topics pertaining to Southern California. The June Bacon Bursey Award for Broadcast Meteorology is presented to Danielle Breezy, I know her, for exceptional life-saving coverage during the March 2nd through 3rd, 2020 Middle Tennessee tornado outbreak and sustained efforts to educate the community about severe weather safety before, during, and after. In addition to broadcast meteorologists, the public learns about our science and its impacts through journalists and authors of books aimed to both adults and children. We have 3 awards in this category. The award for distinguished science journalism in the atmospheric and related sciences is awarded to Heather Goss for illustrating in a scientifically accurate way how advances in lightning detection positively impact public safety through improved forecasting and verification of tornadoes and wildfires. The Lewis J. Batten's Author Award for a book aimed at K-12 audience is awarded to Jessica Stoller Conrad. This is for The Big Book of Weather, which balances accessible scientific descriptions with visual and experiential learning that motivates budding investigators to understand the hows and whys of atmospheric phenomena. The Lewis J. Batten's Author Award for a book aimed at an adult audience is awarded to Tim Woolings for Jetstream, a very readable and scientifically accurate account of large-scale atmospheric dynamics told from the perspective of a drifting weather balloon. Love that idea. The Society awards a special award to an individual or group that has made an outstanding contribution in ways that do not fall under other award criteria. So this year, the AMS is presenting a special award to the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality and United States Forest Service. This is for critical groundbreaking work creating and fielding a platform providing for the health and safety of Arizona residents with early and ongoing wildfire smoke forecasts. In this next group, the awardees have made outstanding contributions across a variety of activities. The Banner I. Miller Award is presented to Charles R. Sampson, John A. Neff, and Kate Musgrave. This is for developing a new application to significantly improve the prediction of rapid intensification of tropical cyclones in the Western North Pacific. The award for outstanding achievement in biometeorology is presented to Rong Fu for elucidating the critical role of tropical biosphere feedback mechanisms, exceptional mentorship of underrepresented groups in science, and extraordinary service to scientific societies and policymakers. The Helmut E. Landsberg Award is presented to Petra M. Klein for decades of sustained leadership in the field of urban meteorology and exemplary contribution to experimental investigation of flow and turbulence characteristics in urban areas. The Charles E. Anderson Award is awarded to Melissa A. Burt for enduring efforts to broaden awareness, spark creativity, and expand opportunities while promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within the geosciences community and beyond. The Henry T. Harrison Award for outstanding contributions by a consulting meteorologist is presented to John Tui Morales for a career of exemplary service as a certified consulting meteorologist. The award for outstanding contribution to the advance of applied meteorology is presented to Prabhat Kumar for innovative concepts in developing the pre-hail detection algorithm, the cloud seeding techniques to enhance weather modification and mitigation to agriculture and other fields. The Shukuro Manabe Climate Research Award is presented to Cecilia Bitts for fundamental contributions to polar climate science, including numerical modeling, its role in the global climate system, and causes and consequences of polar climate change. The Joanne Simpson Tropical Meteorology Research Award is presented to Frank D. Marks. This is for outstanding contributions to the understanding and prediction of tropical cyclones through scholarship, field contributions, and community leadership. Continuing now with the Kenneth C. Spangler Award, the recipient of that award is Renee Leduc. This is for fundamental contributions and leadership connecting the weather enterprise, AMS membership, international community, and policymakers, as well as enhancing awareness of radio spectrum management issues. The next two awards recognize teaching and mentorship, which are central to developing future generations of atmospheric scientists. And I couldn't agree more. I still have all of my mentors and love them and try to be as much of one as I can be to others. The Robert H. and Joanne Simpson Mentorship Award is presented to Thomas L. Wyndham for visionary and dedicated mentorship of numerous individuals, many from a diverse background, to assist them to realize their full potential. The Edward N. Lorenz Teaching Excellence Award is presented to Don T. Conley. This is for demonstrating excellence and devotion to cultivating student success by providing unique hands-on experiences with meteorological instrumentation, immersive international forecasting experiences, I love that, and sustained career mentoring. The Society identifies two awards to recognize valuable service to our science and our society. The Cleveland Abbey Award for Distinguished Service to the Atmospheric and Related Science is presented to Paul A. Newman. This is for sustained leadership and service to science, resulting in strengthened policy development for the Montreal Protocol, including contributions to the Kigali Amendment. The Charles Franklin Brooks Award for Outstanding Service to the Society is presented to Pamela G. Emch. For over 20 years of sustained, spirited, and exemplary leadership in the AMS Weather, Water, and Climate Enterprise Commission and the entire weather community. The following two individuals are being recognized for their contributions to science and technology. The David and Lucille Atlas Remote Sensing Prize is presented to Kelly Chance for seminal contributions and extensive collaboration in satellite instrumentation, retrieval algorithm physics, spectroscopy, and measurements to advance the remote sensing of atmospheric trace gases.
Hello, this is Kelly Chance. I'm honored to receive the David and Lucille Atlas Remote Sensing Prize for this year. Where we're at is the culmination of many years of work by my research group and others, beginning in 1985 when we first proposed Skiamaki, and then GOM came along shortly after that. We had the data and algorithm studies for both, and there have been many satellites coming along since, and now we're culminating that with the TEMPO instrument, where when it will launch later this year, we'll measure atmospheric pollution from greater North America on an hourly basis, and then shorter than hourly basis for certain case studies. So I am thrilled to be here, and I hope to meet many of you here in Houston this year to help me celebrate this wonderful prize and the situation that we're at now in measuring pollution from space and hopefully doing our best to ameliorate its effects. Thank you and goodbye.
The Verner E. Sumi Technology Medal is presented to Stephen A. Rutledge for exceptional contributions to the development, innovation, and application of radar meteorology and atmospheric electricity technologies.
I'm very grateful to receive the Sumi Medal. I thank those that nominated me, my faculty, colleagues, the great students I've worked with, and the unwavering support of my beautiful family. Thank you very much.
The next individual is being recognized for community leadership in addition to important research contributions. The Warren Washington Research and Leadership Medal is presented to Bruce A. Willicke for sustained excellence in research and leadership in the understanding and measurement of the Earth's energy budget and climate.
Hello. I'm extremely honored to receive the AMS Warren Washington Leadership and Research Medal. I knew Warren from NCAR in the 1970s, and he set a great standard for all of us to aspire to. I want to thank the incredible science teams I had the honor to work with over 40 years, Irby, Fire, Ceres, Calypso, CloudSat, and finally Clarion. This is also an honor to their ability to strive for and achieve scientific excellence despite a wide range of challenges. Science is hard, team science is even harder, but it's also incredibly rewarding. For future science leaders, I'd like to recommend 3 tools for your toolbox. First, inspire your team with a long-term vision of what is critical to achieve for improving the world's future. That science mission is larger than any of the individuals on your team, including the team leader. Be humble, not proud. Be confident, not fearful. Second, give full respect to everyone on your team, no matter what their position. As a famous detective liked to say, everybody counts or nobody counts. Third, build a very thick skin. Refuse to take things personally. They are rarely meant that way. Miscommunication is at the heart of most people's challenges. To sum it up, assume best intent. Finally, I'd like to ask that all of you spend some time thinking about the big picture issues we face, things that are beyond our individual science interests. An example is designing and building a global international climate observing system. After 30 years of focusing on climate change, we still lack that most basic of systems. I hope and pray that the next generation of Earth scientists will build it. Thank you.
The following medalists are recognized for their highly significant research in the atmospheric or hydrologic sciences and in the ocean's connection with the atmosphere. The Jewel G. Charney Medal is presented to George N. Kilidis for original, insightful contributions in understanding the codependency of tropical dynamics and convection.
I am deeply honored to accept the AMS Jewel Charney Medal. This award has a special meaning to me since I grew up in the Boston area in the 1960s, where up the street I had a clear view of the Green Building at MIT. And I always wondered what was going on in that building. Little did I know at the time that Jewel Charney and colleagues were developing the basis for much of what we do these days in the wonderful field of atmospheric and oceanic science. Fortunately, my parents encouraged me to pursue my dreams, and I have been extremely lucky in my career to work with many very talented colleagues at NOAA's Physical Sciences Laboratory and the University of Colorado. I would especially like to acknowledge the many postdocs and young colleagues that I've had the great pleasure of interacting with on a daily basis. I can't name them all, but in particular, I would like to thank Matt Wheeler, Juliana Diaz, Stefan Tulik, Maria Gene, John Albers, Naoko Sakaida, and Brandon Walding for their creativity and enthusiasm that's kept me afloat all these years. I would also like to thank Peter Webster for his inspiration, the Jewel Charney Award Committee, and the AMS for all they do to support our scientific endeavors. Finally, special thanks to my wife, Mary Campagnolo, who has always encouraged me with her love and support.
The Sverdrup Gold Medal is presented to Shuyi S. Chen for fundamental contributions to understanding of tropical air-sea interactions through innovative use of observations and coupled atmospheric wave ocean modeling.
I am deeply honored to receive the Sverdrup Gold Medal. I thank the people who nominated me and the AMS Award Committee. There are so many people who have been instrumental to my career. Just to name a few: my PhD advisor, Bill Frank, my postdoc advisor and a lifelong mentor and a collaborator, Bob House. My work in air-sea coupling has been inspired by Mark Donnellan, Chris Farrar, Christina Casaros, and many more. I want to share this award with my students, postdoc associates, and the many collaborators whose work over many years have made this possible. I thank my family and friends, especially my husband, Chidong Zhang, for their love and support. Thank you.
Here we go. The following medalists are awarded our highest research awards in oceanography, hydrologic sciences, and the atmospheric sciences. The Henry Stommel Research Medal is presented to Susan Lozer. This is for theoretical, observational, modeling contributions and leadership in significantly improving our understanding of Atlantic Ocean circulation. Thank you, Susan.
I'm honored and humbled to receive the Henry Stommel Research Medal. I want to start by thanking AMS, my nominator and supporters for this award. My 2 years as a postdoctoral scholar at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, where Henry Stommel was a senior scientist, coincided with the last 2 years of his life. I was in awe of Henry Stommel then and remain so to this day. While a postdoc, I came to appreciate his capacity to collaborate and to instill in others a sense of curiosity and awe. Everyone that I know that worked with Stommel was motivated, encouraged, and certainly inspired by him. Though my contributions hardly match those of Stommel's, I'm proud that I share his sense of curiosity and his commitment to collaboration. My life as a researcher and my research has been much richer due to the contributions and camaraderie of others. I have been so fortunate to work with colleagues with whom I could freely exchange laughs and freely exchange ideas. While working with colleagues over these years has been immensely satisfying, working with students and postdocs has been nothing short of a joy. Long ago, I decided to measure the dedication to my work, not by my hours, but by my commitment to my research, to my teaching, to my colleagues, and importantly, by my commitment to students. There's no title I relish more than mentor. And so I'm pleased to accept this award, pleased to acknowledge the contributions of the colleagues, students, and postdocs who've so enriched my work along the way, and pleased to continue my efforts to encourage, inspire, and support the next generation of oceanographers. Thank you.
The Hydrologic Sciences Medal is presented to Ruby Leung for ingenious groundbreaking contributions which enhance the modeling of land-atmosphere interactions and the hydroclimate.
Hi, I'm grateful and honored, but at the same time, extremely humbled to be selected for the AMS Hydrological Sciences Medal. Hydrological science is a cross-disciplinary field integrating knowledge across the atmosphere, land, ocean, cryosphere, and human systems, all of which can influence hydrological outcomes such as precipitation, soil moisture, runoff, and snowpack. Climate and environmental changes had and will continue to have significant impacts on water availability and extreme events, making hydrological science a highly relevant field. I'm thankful for the many collaborations I have with many colleagues and collaborators from different disciplines, learning along the way how the hydrological cycle works and how it varies and evolves. I also want to thank the Department of Energy and many other agency sponsors for supporting my research endeavors. With diverse and resourceful members, the AMS community has a lot to offer in advancing hydrological sciences. I look forward to continuing being a part of the AMS community to contribute to hydrological sciences for fundamental understanding and societal use. Thank you very much.
The Carl Gustav Rossby Research Medal is presented to Venkatachalam Ramaswamy for original and highly influential leadership, providing fundamental insight into radiative climate interaction among greenhouse gases, aerosols, and clouds.
Thank you, AMS, the awards committee, the nominator, and the letter writers for bestowing on me the Carl Gustav Rossby Medal of the American Meteorological Society. I'm indeed very privileged to be placed in the pantheon of the legendary scientists who have graced this honor. This is an extremely humbling feeling to me. I owe this recognition to the numerous scientists whom I've had the opportunity to interact with over the course of my career. These include senior scientists who imparted their wisdom selflessly, to colleagues who shaped my thinking about science, and postdocs, visiting scientists, and graduate students with whom it has been a pleasure to interact with and who have enriched me with their ideas and approaches in the atmospheric and climate sciences. These interactions have made me smarter, wiser, and more productive. Let me thank a few people. I'm especially grateful to Peter Helek and Jeff Keel for the constant motivation and optimism during the PhD days, to Ramanathan and colleagues at NCAR for their boundless inspiration during the postdoc days there, and whose influence continues to this day, and to GFDL colleagues, including Suki Manabi, Steve Fells, Jerry Malman, and Isaac Held, for sharpening my research and also instilling the practice of exploration and meticulousness. Other scientists, such as Susan Solomon and Ravi Shankara, taught me what rigor in science means and how to communicate the results of science to society at large and for policy informing decisions. I wish to express my sincere thanks to the staff at GFDL and to the past directors at GFDL, and also to NOAA's Oceans and Atmospheric Research administrators and staff, which includes Rick Spinrad, Craig McLean, Sandy McDonald, and Gary Matlock. They have provided generous opportunities for scientific advancement and career development. Finally, I want to express my deep, infinite gratitude to my wife, Kanta, and to my daughter, Shalini, for putting up with me during my scientific journey and for their steadfast, unrelenting support. This honor would not be possible without their standing by my side constantly. Thank you again, AMS, for conferring this highest honor in atmospheric science. It's truly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who was able to send in a video. It's so nice to hear from these folks that are winning these awards. Also, we have a bit more. The outstanding individuals were all recognized with these awards because members like you took the time and effort to nominate them. So I encourage you to do the same for next year. We need more future awardees. We need to be just supporting our community. I think that's the best way to keep going forward and to keep growing the science. I know I love reading all of the work. I love reading the journals. So thank you for all of your work from my end and from everyone that I know in the community. But we want to close the awards portion of this with the highest honor bestowed to the AMS. So the election to the category of honorary member is restricted by our Constitution to, quote, persons of acknowledged preeminence in the atmospheric or related oceanic or hydrologic sciences, or their application or thorough furtherance of the advance of those sciences in some other way, end quote. Our procedures insist that, quote, again, the addition of a new name to the roster of honorary members should be as much an honor for the society as it is for the individual, end quote. And so as much of an honor it is for them, it is for us, for a couple honorary members. This year, please join me in recognizing 3 new honorary members. Harry R. Galan.
I appreciate receiving this prestigious award, and I thank the AMS very much for it. It really means a lot to me. The AMS has been a part of my life for nearly 70 years, since my first introduction to meteorology as a graduate student in 1953. I also thank the many members of the National Weather Service, and especially those of the Meteorological Development Laboratory, both past and present, who have contributed to my career over these many years. It is only with their work and support that my career has flourished. After 4 years as a weather officer in the U.S. Air Force, my entire meteorological career has been spent in MDL and its predecessors. I joined the Weather Bureau at an opportune time. Numerical weather prediction was just gaining a foothold, and predictive 500 millibar charts were beginning to be somewhat useful. Computers were still relatively new, and an IBM 704 was the Bureau's operational machine. Its general use was still very limited. No one in the branch I joined in 1958 had learned to program for it. I had an interest in statistics, and it seemed to me statistics could play a role in bringing 500 millibar information down to ground level where people lived. It soon became my goal to develop model interpretive software and products that would help forecasters produce the best forecast possible. The techniques and software we developed in MDL led to many operational text, graphic, and digital products, including the National Digital Forecast Database in use today. It's been a good ride, and I enjoyed it very much. I retired nearly 10 years ago, but MDL has still allowed me to volunteer for them in an emeritus status. Again, AMS Council, I really do appreciate this award. Thanks very much.
Margaret Lyman.
Thank you so much to my nominators and to the American Meteorological Society for this recognition as an honorary member. The list of honorary members includes so many of my heroes. You know, I'm always telling my staff not to use the word thrilled in describing my reaction to something, but I am thrilled to be a part of this distinguished group. And thank you so much for honoring me in this way. As I thought about what I might want to say to you, I decided that I wanted to reflect on the differences between how society thinks about scientists now in comparison with their regard for scientists and science in the past. While it is still true that a healthy majority of the American public trusts scientists more than almost any other group, several things have changed dramatically. We now live in a society in which a significant fraction of our population does not want to be told what they should think about any topic, even when that topic depends on science, like vaccination and climate change. And we scientists are certainly guilty of approaching issues with the perspective that we have the facts, so you should think as we think. To many, scientists are just another opinion group or interest group, and they fear that our opinion can be bought in exchange for funding. I think this is a time when scientific societies like AMS can play a special role because we do not depend on grants and contracts, because we represent a spectrum of scientific thought. We therefore have more credibility as a society than any of us has as individuals. And I think this is especially true of AMS, which represents sciences that are critical to our economy and safety, like weather, that are recognized as important. Our voice has special credibility here, and I want to urge us as a society to use it more prominently to both explain science, especially the science of climate, which is so important to our economy and safety, but also to use it to explain scientists, how we work, and the culture of science. Again, thank you so much for this wonderful honor.
Sarush Sarushian.
Thank you, AMS, for this great honor, which I'm truly humbled. I thank the awards committee as well as the leadership of AMS for this wonderful recognition given to me. Of course, we receive these recognitions for perhaps the work we've done in our professional career, as well as our service to the community. As an academic, I am truly blessed with having had so many wonderful PhD students over the years, too many to name, as well as the funding agencies that have supported my work. And most importantly, is the professional societies such as AMS that allow us to disseminate the information through our publications and through the meetings, which we get together with colleagues and share our results and ideas. Again, thank you so much, and I'm very grateful.
Thank you all for staying with me through all of that. As you know, the whole world is thrown upside down, and all I have was some papers to read, but all I want is some more of your papers to read. So thank you for your incredible work. Congratulations to all the awardees, and I will see you soon from another store.
Wow, congratulations to all of our award winners. You can just see what a tremendous crew we have across the entire water and climate enterprise and our AMS membership. A special thanks to Ginger Zee for doing a fantastic job and inspiring us with her words and recognizing all of our award winners. So at this point, I've invited to the stage Rich Clark, the incoming president. And we do have a motion from the floor of the AMS members represented by Todd Glickman. So can we bring Todd on?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening. I move that the acts of the counselors and officers of the Society during the year ended 31 December 2021, done in the proper conduct of the business of the Society, be hereby adopted, approved, and confirmed.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. All right, to vote on this, our AMS membership online, either by the Slido poll or in the comments of the on the Zoom, can go ahead and just type in yes into that for your vote, or no if you don't agree. And our Secretary Treasurer, Bruce, can give me a thumbs up once we have a confirmation of. All right, thank you. It has been adopted, so thank you very much, Todd. With that, at this point, I would like to ask Rich Clark to assume the chair as the incoming president of the American Meteorological Society.
Thank you, Mike. Please join me in a round of applause for Mike Farrar, who's president whose presidency culminates with this annual meeting and the imperative of environmental security. And what a wonderful presidential forum. There's a lot of thank yous that go around, and I'm going to add a few before I leave you this evening. I want to thank the past presidents, Mary Glacken and Jenny Evans, and current and past council members who have helped me navigate through the learning curve as president-elect. It's a significant time commitment, and I really appreciate the advice that they've given me. I want to also thank all the volunteers who serve as board chairs and commissioners and members of the 140 commissions and boards and committees that make up our organization. A hearty thank you. A special thanks to our Executive Director Emeritus, Keith Sider, whose advice was and is salient and substantive, and to the AMS staff of exemplary professionals who collectively keep the gears of this organization turning while providing actionable advice. I look forward to working with the new Executive Director, Stella Kafka, and the President-elect, Brad Coleman. A special thanks to all the AMS members who have given me this opportunity and the privilege to serve you as the 2022 President. I promise to be a good steward, and when necessary, a change agent. I look forward to an in-person meeting in Denver in 2023. Where we will focus on the theme data, driving science, informing decisions, enriching humanity. I wish to congratulate the 2022 award recipients and fellows of the American Meteorological Society, and I want to announce my invitation to the awardees and fellows from 2021 and this meeting, as well as the respective past presidents, to come to the Denver meeting in 2023 and be recognized in person for your accomplishments. I want to thank my family for their support, especially my wife and my colleague, Seppi Yalda, who I congratulate on her election to AMS Fellow this evening. And I want to finish by recognizing all the students who took time from what is probably the first or second week of a semester, probably not regretting that too much, I'd imagine, to come to Houston to take part in the in-person portion of the annual meeting. I'm sure that it was an enriching experience for each of you, and I thank all the presenters that played a role in that enrichment. Now, I would like to call, if they're in the audience, and I hope they are, Mary Glacken, Mike's already here, Keith Sider, Stella Kafka, and Brad Coleman to come to the stage and be recognized, and a little bit of a photo op here. Do we have everyone? Is Mary here? I know Jenny's, Jenny would not be. Oh, she did, okay. Well, we'll have to Photoshop her in. Anyway, if we can, what would you like us to do? Okay, there's Keith.
We're the same level.
Right.
If I could just.
Good.
Excellent.
I know we're going to have a great meeting, and I'm really looking forward to all of the conference presentations and the activities that are going on as they relate to environmental security. So yeah, let's have a great meeting, and this ends the business meeting. And do I hear a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? Thank you. We are adjourned.